Happy chanting.
Ah, very good. Look,
Yes.
if you won the jackpot today.
Normally, I'm a happy person, really. But,
Very, very good.
yeah.
Okay, let's start. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvanitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Visam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Nirupa Sagrajata Sagana Ragunata Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Krishna.
Like some devotees are a little bit late today, but we're going to start anyway.
I saw lots of beautiful pictures of the devotees in Vrajau, I think yesterday.
Yeah, we went there
So
for it.
beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful to see everyone.
Thank you. So, Mother Anike, you want to recite?
Till chapter 11, Prabhu.
Yeah, 11:55.
Okay. Chapter 11, text 55. Matkarma krinmatparamo madbhakta sanghavarjitaha nirvaira sarvabhuteshu yasamam eti pandava. Translation. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from contaminations of the fruitive activities of mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So, quickly, we go through the summary of the last class.
Prabhu not be reporting, right? The last class that we had in chapter 13.
Yeah, not the reporting, the last class.
Okay. It's a very short summary, Prabhu.
It's okay.
So we covered verses 1 to 5 of chapter 13 last meeting, which covers the nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness. So chapter 1 to 7 actually talks about Kshetra and Kshetragyan, but we only got to verse 5. Okay. For the first two verses, here Arjuna asks Krishna 6 questions. What are the meaning of the following? Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragyan, Gyanam, or knowledge, and then Gyayam, object of the knowledge. And in the same verse, Krishna answered two of them. The definition of Kshetra, which is field of activities, and then we have the Kshetragyan, the knower of the field, or the living entity, the soul, or the body. And since Kshetragyan is the body, it is fallible. Okay. For the next verse, verse 3, Krishna added that there is a second knower, and that is him. He is the super knower, the super soul. And compared to Kshetragyan, Krishna, the super knower, is infallible. And then also in this in verse 3, Krishna explained knowledge or gyan. And according to Krishna, to understand the body and its two knowers, that is knowledge. Okay. In the purport of verse 3, we had two analogies. The first one is that the king and the citizens in the kingdom. Okay. So the king is the original controller of all the activities of the state. The king knows not only his palace, but all of the properties possessed by his individual citizens. On the other hand, the citizens are secondary controllers. A citizen may only know anything about everything about his patch of land. Similarly, we may be the proprietor of our own body, but the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of all bodies. Okay? For the second analogy, it actually refers about our understanding that we should understand the position of Prakriti, the nature, Purusha, the enjoyer of nature, and Ishvara, or the, what is this? What is that? Ishvara, the knower that dominates the nature and soul. And that one should not compare, similarly, one should not compare the painter, the painting, and the easel. Okay? Then we went to verse 4, where Krishna says that he will not describe the knowledge of the field and the knower of the field of activities. So here, in this particular verse, Krishna says that we must know our constitutional position, right? And we must not confuse Jiva and Krishna. Okay? For verse 5, according to Krishna, the knowledge of the field and the knower of the field of activities, these two has been described by various sages in various Vedic writings, like in Vedanta Sutra. Okay? Just like in the verse of number 5, in the purport actually, one sage was mentioned here, right? Who is that sage? Do you remember? Parashara, right, Prabhu? The father of Vyasadev. So another point mentioned in the purport is the Brahmapucham. Okay, the 5 stages of Brahman realization, or the 5 levels of consciousness or realization. We have the number 1, which is Anamaya. This is the food consciousness, or dependence on food for existence. An example for this kind of consciousness is one that a baby has. Okay, and then we have Pranamaya. This refers to living symptoms, meaning that an example for this is God. You know that God exists because you're also existing in this world. Okay, we have the 3rd material level of consciousness, which is Jnanamaya. So this refers to thinking, feeling, and willing. So the self-realization begins on Jnanamaya. And then we have the 4th one, the Jnanamaya. This is a higher level of consciousness. So here you're able to distinguish the body and the soul. Okay, you have discernment. And then the 5th one is Ananda Maya. So this is an even higher realization. So here you realize that the Supreme Absolute, and the all blissful nature of the Supreme Lord. So here you already have a connection to the super soul. Basically, that's all of my notes, Prabhu, when it comes to like verses 1 to 5. Hare
So
Krishna.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. So in 6 and 7, Krishna is going to describe the elements of the Shitra, the field of activities. So we're going to read that now. Thank you for the summary. Let me share the screen. So Krishna here describing 6 and 7 what comprises of the Chitra. What Chitra is made up of. Mahaputani hankaro bodhi avyaktameva cha indriyani dashaikam cha pancha chetraya gochara ichadesha sukham dukam sangata chetana daitehi eta chetram samatena swadhikaram uttarikam. So here Krishna describing the 5 great elements. Okay, this is Krishna describing the ingredients of material nature. We have the Mahabhuta, the 5 great elements: force, ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, and the mind. The 5 sense objects: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and conviction. All these are considered, in summary, to be the field of activities. and its interaction. So these are the field of activities and interaction. And if you see the field of activity mentioned, they are supposed to be 24 in nature, but some other ingredients are added, which where Krishna is saying these are the activities and its interactions. Like desire, that is interaction, hatred, happiness, distress, all these are the interactions. And other ones are the field of activity. And that is why you see again and again, Krishna is always telling us we should be equiposed. We should be equiposed in this material world due to the interaction of this field of activities. We get happiness or distress, honor or dishonor, fame or infamy. So one should learn to be equiposed because these are the interactions of the modes of material nature. So let's hear Prabhupada's purport, then we can really properly analyze more about this field of activity. Somebody want to read?
I will read.
Yes, please, Prabhu, go ahead.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vairagadaha Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda. From all the authoritative statements of the great sages, the Vedic hymns, and the aphorisms of the Vedanta Sutra, the components of the world can be understood as follows. First, there are earth, water, fire, and ether. Air and ether. These are the five great elements, Mahabhuta. Then there are false ego, intelligence, and the unmanifested stage of the three modes of nature. Then there are five senses for acquiring knowledge, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Then five working senses, voice, legs, hands, anus, and genitals. Then above the senses there is the mind, which is within and which can be called the sense within. Therefore, including the mind, there are 11 senses altogether. Then there are the five objects of the senses, smell, taste, form, touch, and sound. Now the aggregate of these 24 elements is called the field of activity. If one makes an analytical study of these 24 subjects, then he can very well understand the field of activity. Then there are desire, hatred, happiness, and distress, which are interactions, representations of the five great elements of the gross body. The living symptoms represented by consciousness and convictions are the manifestations of the subtle body, mind, ego, and intelligence. These subtle elements are included within the field of activities. The five great elements are a gross representation of the false ego, which in turn represents the primal stage of false ego, technically called the materialistic conception or tamasa buddhi. Intelligence in ignorance. This further represents the unmanifested stage of the three modes of material nature. The unmanifested modes of material nature are called pradhana. One who desires to know the 24 elements in detail along with their interactions should study the philosophy in more detail. In Bhagavad Gita, a summary only is given. The body is the representation of all these factors, and there are changes of the body, which are 6 in number. The body is born, it grows, it stays, it produces byproducts, then it begins to decay. And at the last stage, it vanishes. Therefore, the field is a non-permanent material thing. However, the Kshetra Jna, the knower of the field, is its proprietor is different. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much. So, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, if you want to know more detail about these ingredients or the field of activities, precisely you should go to third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is where you get the detailed knowledge about this 24 elements. Third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, if you want to really go deeper. So, very important for us to memorize these 24 elements. Let's go through them again. We want to read the 24 elements to us based on how Prabhupada describe it. We want to mention it and we count together. Okay? We want to
Count.
We started with the five great elements. We have the earth, water, fire, air, and ether.
Okay.
That's five.
Again, five great
Yes.
elements. That is the Mahabhuta. Okay.
5 elements.
Mhm.
Water.
Then we have
earth,
water.
water, fire, air, and ether. Okay.
And then Prabhupada mentioned next is false ego, intelligence, and the unmanifested.
So in the let's come again. We have the false ego and the what?
Intelligence.
Intelligence and the unmanifested stage of three modes of material, which is called pradhan. Okay. Making it how many now?
We have 8 now.
Okay. Let's go.
And we have 5 senses for acquiring knowledge.
Okay.
The eyes, the ears, nose, tongue, and skin.
Okay, that is making it how many?
13.
Very good. Okay.
And then we have the 5 working senses, the voice, the legs, the hands, the anus, and the genitals.
Making it how many?
23.
18.
No, 18.
18. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought we were at 18.
Okay, 18. And then go.
And then we have another one, which is the mind.
Making it how many now? 19.
19.
Okay.
Okay. And then what else? There are 5 objects of the senses.
Okay, making it how many now?
And then that's 24.
Very good. And also, if you now go into the, like Prabhupada mentioned, the pradhan, unmanifested three modes of material nature is called pradhan. Pradhan actually is it all these total ingredients that is sorry. Pradhan is when the three modes of material nature is inactive. You see, just like now, Papa gave a very nice analogy of this. Just like, for example, in your kitchen, you have all the gulais in your kitchen. The gulais will be lying down there as long as no one goes there to cook, isn't it? Everything will be lying down there until someone enter the kitchen and start cutting the vegetables. Then you can cook something. So similarly, the unmanifested state of three modes of material nature is called pradhan. That is when all these ingredients are inactive. They are said to be in a pradhan state. Then when there is interaction, when the Lord, actually in the Srimad Bhagavatam mentioned 25 elements, which is the super soul, the Lord himself grants. So when the Lord glances at the three modes of material nature, then there is an interaction. You see? And that interaction is what is producing all the things we have in the universe. And that is why it's the interaction of these three modes of material nature that is producing both the hatred, happiness, distress, and all the other interaction mentioned in the purport. You see, that is why when you rise above the three modes of material nature, you will not be affected by all the interaction of this material world. When you rise above the modes of material nature, when you go beyond the modes of, because this is just the interaction of the field of activities. So when you still think that you are the body, so those interactions will be affecting you. But when you come to realize that you are not the body and you rise beyond the perception of the body, you become situated on the level of the soul, then you'll not be disturbed by the interaction again. That is what is called transcendental state. You come to the level, and that is why you see again and again, Krishna is emphasizing in Bhagavad Gita that we should learn to be equiposed in the interaction of these three modes of material nature. Because only when you are equiposed, then you can understand actually that these are due to the interaction of this field of activities. Any question or comment regarding this?
I have one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
After they talk, Prabhupada writes about the false ego and intelligence. He talks about pradhana, the unmanifested three modes of nature.
Material nature. Yes.
What exactly are those?
The mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance.
Ah, yes.
These three gunas, they are the major active ingredient of material nature.
Yes. Yes, I understand.
And they are the one that is propelling us to act in different ways. Somebody is acting in the mode of goodness, somebody is acting in the mode of passion, somebody is acting in the mode of ignorance, Somebody is acting in the mode of mix, goodness, partial goodness. So this interaction of these three modes of material nature is what is producing all the interaction of activities in the material world. Just like I said, if you keep all the ingredients in the kitchen, unless someone goes there to start cutting and cooking, nothing will happen. Similarly, these three modes of material, the ingredients of the universe, nothing will happen unless there is the super soul, propelling them to act. And that is what happened in the beginning of creation. And because the scientists cannot understand this, they call it Big Bang theorem. Okay. So, any question? Any further question? Actually, this is a very nice topic. And when I was teaching Bhakti Vaibhava, that's the Srimad Bhagavatam, we used to dive deeper into it. That is why Bhagavad Gita is just give you some preliminary understanding of about these things. But when you really want to go deeper into it, then is when you start studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Because actually, all what we are trying to do in spiritual life is to bring us ourselves beyond the modes of nature. When you are in the mood of goodness, you are safe. But still, you are still conditioned by goodness, like the Brahmanas. When the Brahmanas are conditioned by good, when people are conditioned by goodness, they love to acquire knowledge. They act piously. They are good to others. So that is mode of goodness. So, and mode of goodness brings happiness. It's illuminating. We are still going to study more deeper of these three modes in chapter 14, in chapter 16, 17, 18. Krishna is going to dive deeper in three modes because three modes is the major ingredient of creation. Okay? Now, based on how we are acting in life, it is based on the mode that is influencing our life. If you are acting in the mode of passion, there's how you act. If you are influenced in the mode of ignorance, there's how you act. If you are influenced by the mode of goodness, there's how you behave, how you perceive things. And that is why cultivating knowledge is very, very important, because by cultivating knowledge, you will be elevated to the mode of goodness. But if you really want to be free from these three modes, then you have to engage in pure, unalloyed devotional service. Then you can transcend the mode, just like Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, when we are going to study in chapter 16. In chapter 16, verse 23. Somebody want to read? Mam chayo vidya charinam, bhakti yogena sevate, taguna samate itam, brahma bhuyaya kalpate. You can read it so that you can know the verse. Read the translation if you found it. 16:23. Who have seen it?
He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. No, 14. Sorry, 14:23.
14:23.
The three modes of material nature. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So it's Prabhu, it's 22 to 25 when it comes to like chapter 14.
Sorry, I'm missing it up. Wait 1 minute. Something is. Mam chayo bibhyachari na bhakti yogena sevate saguna samatya itam brahma bhuyaya kapate. Mam chayo Mam chayo vibhyachari na bhakti yogena sevate saguna samatya itam brahma bhuyaya kapate. Which 14:26. Sorry, 14:26. 14:26.
Okay.
Read it, the translation.
Mm-hmm. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Very good. That is it. So 14:26. So Krishna is telling here, is telling us how to transcend the mode. Because in chapter 14, Krishna basically describing the three modes of material nature, how it's influencing our life, how we need to come to the mode of goodness. If you're in the mode of ignorance, you go back, you go to the animal kingdom. If you're in the mode of passion, you remain on this earth. If you are in the mode of goodness, you go to heavenly planet. Then you transcend the mode, then you go to spiritual world. So Krishna is telling the influence of the three modes and how we can transcend it. How do we transcend it? And Krishna even gave the symptoms of those who have transcended the mode in the previous verse, because Arjuna asked the question, how will I know someone who have transcended the mode? Arjuna asked the same question. So in text, before that verse, which is 22 to 25, Krishna mentioned what the symptoms of one who has transcended the mode. We're not going to that because we'll be doing that when we get to chapter 14. But I'm just saying, telling you, basically, all the activities and interaction of the material world is caused by these three modes. But here is mentioned unmanifested state, means they are still lying dormant in the beginning of creation. Okay, so let's move on. So we go to the next verse, where Krishna is going to mention from 6 to 7 the process of knowledge. Krishna is going to mention about what? Process of knowledge. Krishna mentioned about the ignorance of material nature. So in 8 to 12, Krishna is going to describe to us how to liberate ourselves from this bondage of this field of activity. Okay? How to liberate ourselves from the field of activity. Krishna is going to tell us, and that is the process of knowledge. Because we only need knowledge to liberate ourselves from this bondage of this material world. So the knowledge starts from, let's read. Let me share my screen. From humility. Amani Tvam. We're going to read it. It will take some time because it's very long purport. So we are going to take it purport by purport. So everyone will read, have chance to read about the meaning of each of the process of knowledge. Okay? So Krishna mentioned here, Amani Tvam Adam Bi Tvam. Ahimsa Chantir Arjavan. Asho Pasanam Socham Sieram Atma Binigraha. Indriyarite Shubairagyam. Anahankara Hevacha. Jarma Mritu Jaravyadit Doka Doshtana Nudashanam. Ashakti Anabig Swaga. Putra Dara Griyadishu. Nityam Sa Samachitatam. Ishtanisto Patishu. Mayichanaya Gogena Bhakti Abhyabicharini. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Arati Jana Samsadi. Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Tattva Gyanartha Darshanam. Eta Gyanam iti Proktam. Agyanam Yadanto Anyataha. So here Krishna described the 24 ignorance of knowledge, starting with humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, evil-mindedness, pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge. And beside this, whatever there may be is ignorance. This is Krishna speaking. I hope you heard him very clear. Krishna is speaking. I consider all these things to be what? Knowledge. And whatever else may be is ignorance. So it's a very long purport. So we are going to take turn to read the purport paragraph by paragraph. We don't need to waste so much time. Wherever we stop today, we'll continue. So if somebody finishes reading the paragraph, if I want to talk a little bit, I will stop you. So, but let us take turn, paragraph by paragraph. It's a very long one. Let us dive deep into it And after finish reading all these qualities, we are going to do some group work. How are we going to cultivate some of these qualities in our life? Which one do we, aspire to have in our life? Because when you say you are in knowledge, you have to acquire some of these qualities. That is what Krishna is saying, knowledge. Okay, you want to free yourself from the bondage of the material world. Then you must acquire this knowledge, these characteristics, this character in your life. How are you going to do that? That will be what we are going to do after we study it, okay? So let's start paragraph by paragraph.
Okay, I'll read first.
Yes.
This process of knowledge is sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent men as being the interaction, the thought of activity. But actually, this is the real process of knowledge. If one accepts this process, then the possibility of approaching the absolute truth exists. This is not the interactions of the 24 elements as described before. This is actually the means to get out of the entanglement of those elements. The embodied soul is entrapped by the body, which is the chasing made of the 24 elements, and the process of knowledge as described here is a means to get out of it. All of these descriptions of the process of knowledge, the most important point is described in the first line of the 11th verse. Maya Chananya Yogena Bhaktir Abhya Vicharini. The process of knowledge terminates in unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. So if one does not approach or is not able to approach the transcendental service of the Lord, then the other 19 items are of no particular value. But if one takes to devotional services for Krishna consciousness, the other 19 items automatically develop within him. That is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.8-12. Yasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sadvarganais Tatra Samasati Sura. All the God's qualities of knowledge develop in one who has attained the stage of devotional service. The principle of accepting a spiritual master, as mentioned in the 8th verse, is essential. Even for one who takes to devotional service, that is most important transcendental life, begins when one accepts a bona fide spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Clearly state here that this process of knowledge is the actual path. Anything speculated beyond this is nonsense.
Thank you very
As
much.
for
So
the
let's,
okay.
wait. Thank you. So what did Prabhupada say is most important of all these 20 items of knowledge, process of knowledge here? Somebody want to tell us? What is the most essential part of this mention? All these 20 items of knowledge mentioned, process of knowledge. We just read it. Somebody want to remind us?
Accepting a spiritual master.
No. Is that what Prabhupada say as one of them? He mentioned one before that.
Devotional service.
Yes, the price of an unalloyed devotional service to the Lord.
Yeah. So Prabhupada mentioned that it says, thank you very much. The process of knowledge terminates in unalloyed devotional service as the Lord. So if one does not approach or is not able to approach the transcendental service of the Lord, then the other 19 items are of no particular value. But if one takes to devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, the other 19 items automatically develop within. Prabhupada quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So all the good qualities of the develop in a someone who has attained devotional service. So the principle of accepting a spiritual master, as mentioned in the 18th verse, is essential. Even for one who takes to devotional service, it is most important. Okay, so transcendental life begins when one accepts a bona fide spiritual master. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna clearly states here that this process of knowledge is actual path. So here, Prabhupada pointed out the two most essential ones. That is engaging in pure unalloyed devotional service and accepting bona fide spiritual master. Actually, you have to accept a bona fide. Thank you very much for saying that. So you have to accept a bona fide spiritual master before you can engage in pure unalloyed devotional service. But still, engaging in unalloyed devotional service, according to Prabhupada, is most important of these 20 items mention the process of knowledge. So like Prabhupada said, these are not the interaction of the field of activity. These are the process of knowledge on how to get out of this bondage of the field of activity. We are all bound in this body. Sometimes we are acting helplessly. I don't want to do this. Desire to do it is coming. I have to do this again. No. Why I have to do it? Oh, no, Krishna, please forgive me, forgive me. Why? Bondage. We are in bondage. We are forced to do. Arjuna asked the same question. In what chapter? Who can remind me? What chapter Krishna asked this? Arjuna asked that question. Why am I forced to do what I don't want to do? What chapter is that? Who can remember?
Karma Yoga?
Who is the Bhagavad Gita student here? Is there what chapter?
That was in Karma Yoga, Prabhu, right?
What chapter is that?
Chapter 3.
Okay, in what verse? Now we are getting
particular verse?
Bhagavad Gita students, you have to know it. Yes, it's towards the end of chapter 3, you are getting it. But you have to know it so that you can make reference when you are talking to someone. Yes, it's towards the end. Just go it and confirm it. Then you are sure for it. Once you confirm it, then you can use it another day. So in what verse Arjuna is asking that question? You have found it? You have to find it. Do some exercise. Okay. Find what verse Arjuna is asking that question. Chapter 3, test what? Why am I forced to act, even though I don't want to act? No one has found it. Oh, Krishna, nobody is passing.
Verse 9?
No, not verse 9. Not verse 9.
Okay.
It's towards the end of chapter 3.
Okay.
Okay. No one has found it. Okay, if nobody has found it, I will tell you 36. Go to 36.
36. Okay.
Okay, go to 36.
Yes.
And read it very loudly.
I'll read it. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even willingly, as if engaged by force?
Yeah, that is the Arjuna's question. Why is it that I don't like to do this, but I'm being impelled? Oh, why? Oh. Arjuna Krishna's answer in the next verse is love, which is born of mode of passion. So now we come about the mode, passion, you see? Then when the lust is not satisfied, it becomes anger. You become hungry. That is now transformed into ignorance. The passion transforms into ignorance. You see, and when your lust is satisfied, instead of transform, when your lust is satisfied, if it doesn't transform to anger, then it transforms into greed. You want more. I want more. So when lust is not satisfied, it goes to anger. It's not satisfied, it becomes anger. When it's satisfied, it goes to greed. So that is it. So Krishna answered. He answered Arjuna. It is lust. So similarly also, that is due to the interaction of the field of activity, like Krishna mentioned in chapter 13 here. So when the field is being, when there's interaction of these three modes of material nature with our senses, the five objects of the senses, the knowledge acquiring senses, all this, when there is interaction of the mode with all these senses, your eye sees something beautiful. Oh, I want that. That is object of the senses now. I want to touch. I want to smell. Oh, it smells good. Nice perfume. You start chasing after the perfume. So there is the interaction based on the modes of material nature. Then because of that, we become bound. You are being bound. You see? Then Krishna is saying, only by this knowledge the process of knowledge that we can become liberated from this process of this bondage. Okay, so now let us start. Let us start. Papa start explaining them. Somebody else read from the next purport.
I'll read it, Prabhuji.
Yes.
As for the knowledge outlined here, the items may be analyzed as follows. Humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others.
Wait there. Let us meditate on what is humility. Now, what is the meaning of humility? Repeat it. Let's say it together. What is the meaning of humility?
Humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others.
Very good. That is humility. You are satisfied with whatever condition you find yourself. You are not anxious for people to honor you. Because when there is expectation, then there will surely be disappointment. When your expectation not met, then you will be disappointed. But when you are not expecting, you are not anxious. Whatever condition you find yourself, you will not be disturbed. You'll be happy. Just imagine. Let's say, for example, let me give you an example now. You are a very important or a temple or a minister in a country. Then you are going visiting another country, and you are expected that you'll be received very nicely. And so when you are not being received nicely, you become angry. You become disturbed. Oh, why not receiving me nicely? This, that. You see, but when you are not expecting anything, and you get so much reception, good reception, okay, you will not be disturbed. You should not be disturbed also. You should just, oh God, thank you. You know, sometimes somebody was mentioning, it gave a very good example. There was one person who was like the manager of a big company. So in a year, before that year, he was giving a speech. So he traveled on a business trip. So when he got to that place, he was received very nicely. He was put on the best hotel. You know, he was being escorted to come to the stage. But the same person, year after that, when he already retired from that position, he came to the same event, but nobody received him. Nobody escorted him to go and get his seat. Nothing happened. So he was now giving a comparison. Why was I being received very nicely in that previous year? And today, I'm not giving that reception. Why? Because my position is being respected, not me. You see, that is how to conquer false ego. You see, because his position was being respected, not him. So there's difference between your position and you. So when you are occupying a particular position, a particular kind of honor will be given to you. But when you are not in that position, you may not receive such honor. Because it's your position that is being respected, not you. So when you understand this very deeply, you don't allow your position to affect your life. Let's say you are the manager or managing director of a company. You know, everybody is respecting you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like Bhakti Prabhu gave a very nice story this morning. I could not stop my laughing, you know. I was laughing, you know. He said there was an army general. So all the other army, they give him so much respect. When they see him, they will give him respect. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So one day, he was inside the office, and the building was there was fire in the building. So everybody had to run to the rooftop to jump out of the building. So they were having safety nets on the ground floor to catch those who are jumping. So everybody jumped. Now remaining the general. So immediately the general was jumping, and they saw, oh, the general. They left the safety nets and they were saluting. And you all know what happened to the general, you know, because they dropped the safety net and they were trying to salute him because so he fell on the ground and died. Too much respect. You see? So like that. So humility is very, very important if you want to be happy in life. Don't be anxious to get satisfaction for being honored by others. Don't be anxious for that. When we are able to imbibe this quality, then it's easier for us not to be disappointed in life. In whatever situation we find ourselves, we will not be disappointed. Okay? Let's continue reading Mata Tripura. You are the one reading. Continue. Tripura, are you still there?
Yes, Prabhuji, my network was lagging. The material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others. But from the point of view of a man in perfect knowledge, who knows that he is not this body? Anything, honor or dishonor, pertaining to this body is useless. One should not be hankering after this material deception. People are very anxious to be famous for their religion, and consequently, sometimes it is found that without understanding the principles of religion, one enters into some group which is not actually following religious principles and then wants to advertise himself as a religious mentor. As for actual advancement in spiritual science, one should have a test to see how far he is progressing. He can judge by these items.
Thank you very much.
Non-violence.
Thank you very much. That you have finished your own quality. Thank you. Once you finish reading one quality, someone else will read this other one. So you can see how Prabhupada explained humility here. So let us study it again and again. And let us introspect. We're going to do some exercise on that, okay? So let us introspect what time in our life we are being, humbled. Or we are the one who is, practicing this humility. You are expecting to be honored, but you didn't get the honor. What time in your life that has happened to you? Maybe you go to somewhere, you visit somewhere, and you were expecting to be honored, but you didn't get it. How did you make that? How did that make you feel? Anybody want to say something? You have some experience? Anybody have some experience on being humbled? When you are expecting something to be honored, but you didn't get it?
I'm being humbled, or
Yeah, you are expecting to be honored, but you are not honored. Then you are humbled. You are falsely humbled.
I have one example for Bill.
Yeah, please go ahead.
This happened when I was in my junior year in law school.
Okay.
I was asked by the College of Accounting to judge a debate. So I went there. I went to the venue, and it looks like the event will start soon. So I was going to the table for the judges, but the students ushering people to their specific chairs thought that I was just a guest or someone who is going to watch an audience. And so he was leading me to the audience seat. And I keep telling him, no, I'm supposed to go there. And then he's like, oh, no, you're a student, right? Go there, go over there. And I keep asking him, telling him, no, I'm supposed to go there. And it was just a back and forth between us because I probably look like a student. And so I had to approach the president of the the student body for the accounting course, and then I had to tell him that I'm one of the judges. I'm Nikki Singson, the one you invited. I'm supposed to be there. Actually, the event already started, but I wasn't in front. I wasn't with the chairs for the judges. I was in the audience because they keep saying that stay there. Don't stand up. Stay there. So I felt like it was a little frustrating, but of course I understood the whole system of it all. But I just had to talk to the president of the student body, and then I was allowed to go in front. And so it was kind of humbling because I probably didn't look professional enough for those students. That's why they didn't allow me to go in front. Maybe that's the reason for Bill. So it was a story for I really learned humility at the time.
Oh, very good. And so let's say, it's something like that similar situation happen in the future, what do you think you can do different that will make you really deserve what the real situation you are expecting?
Like how do I correct it, Prabhu? Like the whole thing?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, in the future.
It would be I would definitely just approach the president if he's there, because he wasn't there when I arrived. So it led to a lot of confusion and a lot of like miscommunication too. So I would just approach the person that I communicated with, so that his agents or his members of the student body wouldn't be like because they fought after that. The president like told I think he was one of the ushers, that you shouldn't do that. Why weren't you putting her there? She was saying that she's one of the judges. So I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want the usher to be like chastised. So next time I would just go to the person that I communicated with in order for the things to be more clear, and so that no person will ever get told off by like a higher officer. So that's it, Prabhu. It was a real lesson.
Thank you very much for sharing that wonderful experience with us. Someone else have some experience you want to share with us in that situation or something else? Okay, if none, it's okay. So, many of these kind of situations will, happens in life also sometimes where, like, let's say, for example, like me, I remember when I went to India, I was a temple president at that time. And because if you are a grihasta or if you're not a brahmachari or sannyasi in India, they treat you equally. There's no special like treatment for your position or whatever. If you're a grihasta, you have to rent your own house, you have to pay for your own food, so there's not like special treatment for a grihasta, whether you are holding any position or not in ISKCON. You still have to pay. So sometimes when I was in that situation, I was thinking, very humbly, like, oh, ISKCON should properly, how is ISKCON treating their leaders? They should properly, like, something going on in my mind like that. This should be properly, like, if you are this coming from a particular country, a leader, you should get some special guest house and this, like, humbling situation, you start making so many things in your mind, how things should be. So it's very common. But actually, if we are very humble, we will not complain. You see, that's what Prabhupada said. You are not anxious. You just accept whatever situation comes. And sometimes you'll be surprised you get a very wonderful treatment. Okay, let's read non-violence. Then maybe we'll stop for today. Who wants to read?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yes, please read. And increase your volume if possible.
Okay, Prabhuji. Non-violence is generally taken to mean not killing or destroying the body, but actually, non-violence means not to put others into distress. People in general are trapped.
Let's wait there. What is the Prabhupada definition of non-violence?
Not to put people in distress.
Yeah. So when you are putting others in distress, or when you are not preaching Krishna consciousness, you are committing violence. Okay? That is Prabhupada's definition of non-violence. Not to put others in distress. So it's not just about not killing. So whenever you put any devotee in distress, you have committed a violence. Okay? Let's continue now. Mother Meghanandana.
People in general are trapped by ignorance in the material concept of life, and they perpetually suffer material pains. So, unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they may become enlightened and leave this material entanglement that is in violence.
That is non-violence. Thank you very much, Mother Meghananda. Okay, Meghanandana, sorry. So, non-violence, very simple, proper definition is very simple. If you are not preaching Krishna consciousness, you are not helping people from their miserable condition of life, you are definitely committing violence. Okay? You are definitely committing violence if you are not preaching Krishna consciousness, because people are in a miserable condition of life. So we have to elevate them. So if you are not sharing this knowledge with others, you are surely committing violence. So how are you going to stop committing violence? Let us discuss. How are we going to stop committing violence? Let's discuss.
Yes.
So tell us, Prabhu, how do you want to do yours?
Well, I think that it goes back to the code of just being a good individual. You know, when you're kind to others, you're nonviolent. It's these things go together. And I don't think I have to purposely be nonviolent. I'm just trying to be kind.
Okay, what about what Prabhupada said about not preaching? That is what we are saying.
Well,
Prabhupada said here, one should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they may become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. That is non-violent. So how do you go about that, Prabhuji?
well, even when somebody might be uncomfortable about the fact that you're approaching them somewhere and talking to them, about the good news, um, this enlightenment might allow you to be a little bit forceful.
What happened is that we are not saying that you should force. No. You can approach people and they have their own freedom or free will to say, no, I don't want. It's okay. So we are just a messenger of peace and goodwill. So we try to share to everyone. So somebody may say, no, I don't want. It's okay, but you have done your own part of trying to share the knowledge with them. That's what we're saying. Someone else want to say something? How are you going to stop committing violence? Tell us.
I wanted to share, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
So,
tell us.
sorry, my camera is off. I'm not feeling well. So, non-violence is also like we have to practice not to think bad of other people
Let us
because
concentrate on proper definition on this purpose.
about not sharing the knowledge.
Yeah. I hope you heard what Papa was saying about non-violence. I just read it also now. Let me read it again. Let us concentrate on that and discuss based on that. One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they may become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. That is non-violence. So how do you want to practice non-violence based on proper definition of non-violence? That is my question.
Prabhuji, like giving, like telling the pastimes of God, the moral, like they can learn moral from that. So giving spiritual knowledge and asking our friends or the people like who they believe us to chant the holy name of the Lord. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. For anywhere, one way or the other, Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Yare de kata eka Krishna upada shamaya agya gurana taraidisha. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, tell them about Krishna. You see, wherever you go, whomever you meet, tell them about Krishna. In this way, become a guru and liberate the land. So wherever we meet, our friends, people who are very close to us, let us share the knowledge to them. People are suffering because of this lack of knowledge of Krishna consciousness. People are suffering. They will not tell you. You will not know. You don't know. Just having this knowledge, you can see how much relief you have gotten in life. So many things don't bother you again. They don't bother you again. You are completely, you are peaceful even in the midst of so many, hurricanes of life problems. Sometimes people get hurricanes of life problems, and you are saying, "Oh, Krishna is with me, Hare Krishna." You are not bothered again. You are not bothered again because why? You are in knowledge. You know that it will go away is matter of time because you are in knowledge. But there's some people, because of ignorance, oh my God, this thing is not going away. Maybe I should end my life. They don't understand. They are in knowledge. They are in ignorance. They think that by ending the life, then they are going to save themselves, but it's not true. So we have to give them this knowledge. We have to share knowledge to them, to tell them, just like happiness come on its own, just like distress come on its own, happiness come on its own also in the material life. It's based on your karma. See, everything is temporary. If you are facing challenges now, it's matter of time. It's going to go away, and good situation will come again. So people they cannot understand this simple knowledge. We have to share with them that whatever they are experiencing in life is due to their karma. It will go. Everything will change after some time. They just need to be tolerant, patient, and just pray to God. Yes, someone is raising the hand. Already it's time now. We have to go after this. Thank you. Yes, speak, madam.
Oh, we can share the knowledge through book distribution.
Yes, Paul. You can share the knowledge by distributing books to others. Very good. Yeah, that is what Papa wants us to do. We can go out, share this knowledge wherever you are going, even though if you're not going for preaching, always make sure you bring Shila Papa's books in your bag, in your purse. Even if it's your purse, just put 2-3 books there in case you miss someone. Where you are going, if you are going for party, you are going for meeting, you are going for somewhere, just put 2-3 books in your bag. And when you get there, you look, someone is friendly to you, you can tell them, I have this nice book with me, I read this book a lot. You don't need to preach so much. See, when you are with people that they are of the same level with you, and they don't know whether you are a Krishna or not, you don't need to preach a lot actually. What you just need to do is that, see, of lately, I've been reading these nice books, and they are very, very nice. I just want to share with you. Maybe you can find something useful there, This one, very nice book. You don't need to tell them whether you are Hare Krishna or not. You just tell them this book, I've been reading them, they're very nice books. I just want to share with you, maybe you may like them also. And no one will say no, that they don't like good things, you see? So like that, wherever you go, just bring Shila book with you and share with others. And you see that somehow or the other, you can help someone. Okay. So we'll stop here today. We'll continue from the other qualities tomorrow. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada K. Jai. Vanchakapataru Vyascha. Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha. Patitanam Pavanevyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you very much. So see you tomorrow. Please let us come on time today. Many of us came late. Tomorrow let us be early. That shows that you are really building some good quality if you come early. Very important. Thank you very much.